I wish to make a complaint.
Sorry, we're closing for lunch.
Never mind that, my lad. I wish to complain about this parrot what I purchased not half an hour ago from this very boutique.
Oh, yes, the Norwegian blue. What's wrong with it?
I'll tell you what's wrong with it. It's dead. That's what's wrong with it.
All right. Welcome, Sublaters, all you patrons. Thank you for tuning in. Rudy and I are just going to catch up in this session. We can talk about the news cycle. We can talk about expansive realism. Who knows what we'll talk about. But Rudy, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I am Rudi Grieser from Germany. I am a trained actor and now newly inscribed into the university student of philosophy, and a member of the campaign for Socialist Party. Excellent.
Well, why don't we start there? What has been going on with the campaign for Socialist Party in Germany lately that you can tell us?
So we got some new people from the East, but less than I think was projected in a sense. And I have to say, when I say that, of course, the projections in the campaign are also like, it might happen, it might not happen. It doesn't really matter for what we try to do. But still, when I talk to some people, that was going on because, as I previously explained, they call themselves Young Left, the ones who split from the Green Party, the youth organization. It was in the mix if they will join the campaign and might become our, in a sense, youth organization, though we don't have one. But they didn't. Still, people are engaged with them, right? We talk with everybody. There's no like unnaming each other, Voldemorting each other, and we're just trudging along.
Right? What was their hesitation, and who were they talking to try to onboard them?
So the leadership of I think almost the whole leadership of the Young Greens, the Green Youth, exited the party, split off in last autumn, I think. And they were already engaged. Parts of them were already engaged via Platypus. For example, there's Sarah Lee Heinrich, which is one of the more prominent members of the Young Greens, the Green Youth. And she spoke at Platypus panels and stuff like that. So they were already engaged. And they were also engaged with and looking towards the Young Left in Austria and the Communist Party of Austria. So they were also, so it's in a weird sense, there's this like platypus aspect to the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I think, tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I think the way platypus helps the campaign is by introducing leftists to critique.
Yeah.
And giving them the ability to start to discern between projects that are going to be very visible on the so-called left, and the usual approaches to organizing and activism, and they can discern between those types of projects, which I think by and large are dead ends or even counterproductive, and the choice to try something new, try something different, try something that is at least attempting not to reproduce the same mistakes of the last 20 years, say. But the difficulty is that what the campaign is offering as an activity is somewhat ill-defined, is multifaceted, and also doesn't satisfy the urge to be politically engaged.
Yeah.
So it seems almost like it's an anti-political move to join the campaign. So whatever satisfactions people were getting out of their more, I'm going to say, conformist approach to left politics simply won't be met or derived from joining the campaign, not immediately. They'll have to find different forms of satisfaction when they came.
Yeah, and yet at the same time, I would say that it feels a bit more hands-on than the conformist approach.
Right.
There's some like, I feel like there's air in the campaign, where in a lot of left organizing I know there's not. Because you can
hold on. My mother's calling me. The telephone is ringing. Is that my mother on the phone? Yes, it is. Yes. Sorry about that.
No worries. That takes precedence for me over.
My mother's diabetic, and she needs to be able to get in touch with me about her insulin and blood sugar levels. So she can always call, but it wasn't about that. So we'll move on.
Where are you later? So where was I at? Yeah, there's more air, right? Because you can always, in a sense, fall back on asking yourself, is this a question? Is this something that needs to be adjudicated right now? Or is it something that we can just hold in tension currently?
Right. So in the United States, there was a moment where the campaign was courting class unity out of the DSA. And ultimately, they did not choose to join the campaign as a group. They did, I think, some of them individually. And it seemed that what they were most interested in was theory, and not so much in political hands-on activism. Was that a factor in this case, or?
Yeah, I think it's more like, no, I think it's more like they are more interested in effectivity. They are young people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from what I gather, a lot of the people in the campaign I encountered are like already kind of jaded leftists, right? Or maybe even jaded rightists in a sense, because there is that pipeline too. And so you already had kind of like this, that's the truth towards like, because Susanna Kleeman and I debated a little bit in the comments after the last Monday stream. That's part of what I think is true about like this symbolic death thing, where you really have to encounter yourself because you're like, this is not moving along as I thought it would be. And I think they are lacking that. And so I think they are also interested in theory via platypus, but then platypus and especially the campaign become like their bad conscience. And it's like they would like to go the route of like electoral politics, but they already know enough about Marxism that they're like, yeah, but the radical socialists, they tell us we shouldn't. And so
but just to be
splintered along those lines, I think.
Just to be given a prohibition against a tactic is sort of not the point. The point would be like, ask yourself, what are you hoping to achieve from electoral politics? Because electoral politics may very well be a viable tactic in the future. But it would again depend on what is, a tactic to achieve what is the point. And if your tactic is to achieve the right policy being passed, either, on the county or city level or state or federal level in the United States, then, you probably ought not to be involved with the socialist project. And if your aim is to help working class people have political power in order to oppose the capitalist state from within the capitalist state, then it's a dangerous tactic. It's all sorts of ways in which that can be recuperated or co-opted, but nonetheless, it may be a necessary tactic somewhere down the road. And so, I think that I wonder if the United States campaign was a bit more visible, if it would help the German campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
If they would be more visible, it would help us.
Yeah, if the U.S. campaign was more visible and active, and it was having more of an influence in the United States, if it would help the campaign in Germany seem more viable.
Yeah, but then the question, that's a tough one, right? Because it's like, which people do we want to vet out in the current moment?
Mm-hmm.
Not by excluding them actively, because I think that would be a dead end, and that would also be unprincipled. But like, how much do we want the impossibility of them to misrecognize themselves?
Oh, right. In other words, if they're joining something for faddish reasons or in order to seem like they're joining something that's viable, like the DSA traded on this notion, which was a false one, that they were more serious and they had deeper pockets and
they are in a repeat currently too. It's in Germany. It's usually from my experience over the last 10 years of political consciousness, definitely. There are these regressive cycles where, like, currently it's again the left party seems viable, but I think if you pay attention, it's already clear that they are not. That it's only I think, in my opinion, it's only a really social media campaign.
Mm-hmm.
They managed a social media campaign. They put very much like these popular, simplistic, but also wishy-washy things forward. And I listened to the last, not the last, but like the first meeting of the Bundestag, right? I don't know really what's the equivalent in the US. If it's the Congress or Parliament. I think Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
But someone
on the US we have the Congress.
Congress and Senate, right? You have Senate too.
The Congress includes, we have the House of Representatives and the Senate, and altogether that's the Congress.
Okay, yeah. Then it's and then the House of Representatives is where they speak to each other, right? And they
can speak to each other in the Senate as well. But but there's the representation in the Congress and in the House of Representatives is by population. There are more representatives based on which state you're from, and then there's 2 from every state in the Senate. Yeah,
it's a little bit different here because they gain by vote, right? We have multiple party systems, so it's adjudicated by
Right.
how much seats you win in the election. So that's the Bundestag, and yeah, it's about cuts. The new conservative Christian Democrat government is very much, I would say, Trump aligned, but on the down low. But I think they are in good relations. Merz, the new Bundeskanzler, the new chancellor, and he presented his cuts for the welfare state. And Heidi Reichenig, which was one of the top contenders for position of chancellor, and is in the leadership of the party of the left right now. I listened to her speech, and it was the whole we are helping you. We have to get to the basis and to the roots, which they really picked up on, right? They really did the same thing, like organizing. There was none of that. She really said, if you want better industry, you have to give the people better chances, better accommodations, wages need to be higher. So she made the basic social democratic Keynesianistic argument. And
Right.
it was really in a sense, it was shocking to me when I heard, because not really, I was not shocked, but at the same time, it was so blatant. I was like, it's the first time the party has won this much in years, and she's immediately squandering it and showing her face, in a sense, showing her colors.